Most gardeners struggle to get a decent harvest from their tomato plants, battling pests and disease all summer. But you can harvest twice as many tomatoes this season, and you can do it without relying on toxic chemicals or expensive sprays. The most common trap is treating your tomato plants exactly like every other standard vegetable in your garden. Tomatoes have a completely different biology, and planting them like an ordinary pepper or cucumber limits their growth from day one. To fix this, you just need a few basic supplies: your hardened-off seedlings, a trowel, some organic mulch, a couple of companion plants, and specific kitchen scraps you'd normally throw away. By mastering a specific 6-step growing system used by commercial farms, you bypass the usual backyard garden failures and hit the production numbers these plants are actually capable of. Step 1 starts in the dirt. Don't dig a standard vertical hole. Instead, take your trowel and dig a horizontal trench about 4 to 6 inches deep. Before the plant goes in, lay down a foundation of organic amendments. Add a spoonful of wood ash for potassium, used coffee grounds for a slow-release nitrogen boost, and finely chopped banana peels to provide trace minerals. Cover this mixture with a thin layer of soil so the raw ingredients don't burn the delicate roots. Next, take your seedling and snip off the lower leaves, leaving just the top 2 or 3 sets. Lay the plant completely sideways in the trench so the bare stem rests along the bottom, and cover it up, leaving only the leafy top sticking out above the soil line. This takes advantage of a unique biological trait. Tomatoes can grow roots along any part of their buried stem. Instead of a confined root ball, the system explodes outward, creating a massive, shallow network running the entire trench. Building this widespread root network is the engine of your garden. It gives the plant the surface area needed to pull more nutrients and water from the soil, providing the raw materials for a massive harvest. Step 2 is protecting that root system by planting basil and marigolds directly around the base of your tomato plant. These specific companions actively repel pests. Marigolds release compounds that deter root knot nematodes in the soil and the moths that lay tomato hornworm eggs, while basil improves overall plant health. Next, cover the bare soil surrounding the plants with organic plant residue or straw. Just make sure to leave a small gap directly around the main stem so you don't accidentally cause rot. This chart from an agricultural study shows soil moisture content over a 15-week period. The data confirms that plots covered with organic mulch maintain consistently higher soil moisture percentages than bare, unmulched ground. Looking at Table 2 from the same study, we see the direct result of that trapped moisture. Tomato plants grown with mulch recorded higher plant heights and significantly heavier fresh biomass compared to the control group. Mulch and companion plants engineer a quantifiable, stress-free microclimate. The evidence shows that by modifying the hydrothermal environment around the roots, you produce a larger, more resilient plant. Step 3 requires changing how you water. Instead of a light sprinkle every day, you need to water deeply and infrequently, applying the water directly to the base of the plant using a slow drip method. Shallow watering creates lazy, weak roots that stay near the surface. When you water deeply and let the topsoil dry out between sessions, you force those roots to aggressively grow downward to search for moisture, creating necessary drought resistance. This watering strategy protects your harvest from the most devastating common tomato issue, blossom end rot. You'll recognize it by the dark, sunken, rotting spots on the bottom of the fruit. Many gardeners believe this is caused by a lack of calcium in the soil, and they try to fix it by burying crushed eggshells or Epsom salts around the plant. This does not work. Epsom salts contain magnesium, not calcium, and eggshells take months to decompose. The real biological mechanism is water transport. Calcium only moves through the plant via water. If the soil dries out too much, the roots cannot carry calcium ions up to the developing fruit. The problem is almost always inconsistent watering, not soil chemistry. Mastering consistent water transport, rather than relying on snake oil soil cures, is the definitive secret to growing flawless fruit without rot. Step 4 is securing your yield. You don't have to wait for the wind or the bees. By taking a few seconds every day to hand-pollinate your plants, you can reach a 100% fruit set. Tomato flowers are perfect flowers, meaning each one contains both male and female parts. All you have to do is reach out and gently tap the stem right above the open yellow flower truss. This simple vibration shakes the pollen loose inside the flower, starting the fruiting process immediately. Step 5 is managing the plant's energy. If you are growing indeterminate, vining tomatoes, they will try to grow an endless amount of foliage. You need to redirect that energy back into fruit production by pruning. Look closely at the main stem and a side branch. They form a V shape. Often you will see a small new stem growing right in the middle of that V. This is called a sucker. By snipping these off, you force the plant to stop wasting energy on excess leaves and focus on growing bigger tomatoes. Don't throw those suckers away. If you wait until they are 4 to 6 inches long, you can snip them off, remove the lower leaves, and place them in a glass of water. Within a week, roots will sprout up and down the stem, giving you an entirely free set of clone plants for a late summer harvest. Taking control of pollination and redirecting energy through pruning and cloning allows you to significantly increase your total harvest and extend your production through the first frost. Step 6 is the harvest. We are taught to leave tomatoes on the vine until they turn deep, bright red, but leaving them outside exposes them to heavy rain, cracking, and pests right at the finish line. Commercial growers pick their fruit at the breaker or blushing stage. This is the exact moment the hard green tomato first begins to show a light blush of pink or orange at the bottom. Once a tomato hits this blushing stage, a biological seal forms at the stem. It no longer receives any water or nutrients from the main plant. Its flavor profile is already developed. Instead of risking pests or sudden rainstorms that cause the skin to split, pick blushing tomatoes and place them on your kitchen counter, out of direct sunlight. They will ripen perfectly indoors, protecting the quality you've worked all summer to build. Picking at the breaker stage moves the fruit away from late-season environmental risks. In my garden, this simple change increased the amount of usable fruit from 70% to nearly 100%. It starts with a sideways seedling in a shallow trench. Then you protect it with organic mulch and companion plants. Water deeply to force the roots down, manually manage the pollination and pruning, and pull the fruit at the first sign of blushing. Implementing this complete, chemical-free commercial system removes the guesswork. You are providing the exact biological conditions the plant needs to produce a heavy, blemish-free yield. You now have the tools to double your harvest this season. And if you want to squeeze every last drop out of your garden before winter, check the description below for a bonus tip on force ripening your final green tomatoes.